Hey, we are live. I'm at the fridge making an ice bath for tonight's dinner. Hey everybody, Chef Eric here, the Grateful Chef. That's me. Welcome again to another great episode of Cooking in the Grateful Chef Kitchen with Chef Eric. And hello to everybody who is back seeing us again. Anyone that's new, hello. Thank you for coming and joining us. We've got a lot of activity happening in the Grateful Chef world. Lots of dinners, lots of great posts on the group. So hopefully you guys are enjoying all the content that I'm putting up. I am enjoying doing it. It's awesome. Everything from Grateful Chef related stuff to stuff that playing in the kitchen with Chef Eric, the stuff that I'm doing, just having dinner or getting an idea and playing with it. Love to do it, and it's awesome. I love doing this for and with you guys, because I am not alone. We are in this together. We're cooking live right here in the Grateful Chef kitchen, and we've been having a whole lot of fun. A little over a year now we've been doing this, and it's been very rewarding for me, and I hope it is for you too. I don't know if you have noticed, we have been updating some recipes. We've been updating our website, eatingwithcheferic.com, with the recipes, lots of photos, lots of travel information. It's really cool. And it's a labor of love for sure. So tonight, we are not doing a whole lot of stove action because we're going with a healthy dish. Lynn has requested it. She found a picture that I had from years past of a dish that I did. She said, let's do that. And I said, you know what? Let's do that. Why are we doing healthy? Every once in a while, it's not a bad idea. And we're going to be heading on a little trip in a couple of weeks where we will be, like when you're on vacation, like croissants. I call them vacation bread. It's like stuff you're going to eat that you might not normally eat. It's a little different for me because I eat a lot of stuff. But
what'd you have earlier today?
What did I have earlier today? I had Krispy Kreme donuts. Woo! That was after I had lunch at the Shanghai Dumpling House. But it's another story. I had to get the calories in because this dish we're making tonight is low calorie. Love it. I didn't want to be hungry. I may go out and get a Popeye's fried chicken sandwich after the show, but that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, so what we're doing tonight, healthy eating, continuing our summer fair series of episodes, and we are doing a tiger shrimp salad. So I have these beautiful tiger shrimp. I'm going to show them to you right here. You can all tell why they're called tiger shrimp. They got the stripes. So I got about a pound of tiger shrimp here. We're gonna poach these in a court bouillon. That's a fancy culinary term for poaching liquid. These shrimp are gonna cook in seconds, and that's why I was preparing my ice bath, because we're gonna shock them, because you want the shrimp salad to be cold. So we're doing that. It's gonna be served with a homemade lemon mayo. We're making not two versions. We're using two different techniques, which I'm going to explain in a minute. And underneath the shrimp salad, that's going to sit on top of a zucchini and watermelon that is marinated in a lime vinaigrette. Now, I'm not making the vinaigrette live. We've made many vinaigrettes. I always say this, if you can make one vinaigrette, you can make 100. Same technique. I did one with lime, so it's very lime forward, and I have it here in my little squeeze bottle. And there's a couple of terms that I don't really like in the culinary world. One of them is moist, and the other one is zoodles. But Grateful Chef is bringing to you tonight zucchini noodles, zoodles, that we're going to use a gadget to make that I've had since, the year of the Gimel flood, as my grandmother used to say. And so we're going to play around with that. It's like a giant pencil sharpener for zucchini. You could certainly dice up the zucchini if you wanted to. I was in my market to actually sell zoodles, like in a package, but why would you want to spend $7 on a package of zoodles when you can go out and buy a couple of zucchini for cheap, or grow them in your backyard? It is the summer, for God's sakes. yeah, so we're going to get right to it. I'm going to put this away, as I always do. And the first thing I'm going to do is, here in my pot, I've got the court bouillon. So what it is water. I've got some peppercorns. I put a little salt in there, a couple bay leaves, a couple of slices of lemon, and it's up to a boil. And this is the kind of thing you want to put them in. You don't want to walk away. So I'm putting these shrimp in right now.
Is there anything different about tiger shrimp?
No, it's just a different species.
Ooh.
Very different species of shrimp. You can see that they've already turned pink. When I turn that fire up, you want to bring it back to a boil. And these literally are going to take a minute.
That was fast.
Yeah. These shrimp, they're very thin shelled. These cook really quick. You can kind of see when you look at the shrimp, you can kind of look at this part and you can see that it's still a little raw in the center. The other way you can tell when you're cooking shrimp is see how they are not fully curled? Like this one, for instance, it's not fully curled. If this shrimp overcooks, it's gonna curl like that. You don't want shrimp like that. You want them to kind of be open like that, and that's how you can know. It's just like same thing with a lobster tail. If you steam a lobster, you know that tail curls up. You know, you kind of want to do it. This is real gentle. I might not even have to bring this back up to a boil because these are just about ready now. Yeah. And they will, you know, obviously we're going to shock them to stop the cooking. Yeah. So
if I was just doing like a shrimp cocktail shrimp.
Exactly this way.
Would I also shock them?
Yes, you would also shock them. Once you shock them, you know, they get cooled down, you peel them. So here's my ice bath, just ice with cold water. I'm shutting this down.
Ooh, that color.
Close.
Yes, it does.
All right, we're going to scoop these shrimp out and tap off some of the water, submerge them right into the ice bath. And you can do this shrimp cocktail. You can do the flavoring in the water if you want. If not, you want to be a purist and just go with the pure water. You can do that too. Maybe just a little salt. And I really don't want the lemons and the bay leaves in there. All right. So that's all the cooking we're doing tonight. So have a great night, everybody. No, seriously. We got many components to this dish, and it's really quite simple. So you have your vinaigrette. I made it ahead of time. That lime vinaigrette. All right. This is going to sit in here. They're going to chill. Beautiful thing. Okay. Next. Watermelon is a component of this dish, and what I do is I go out and buy these little mini watermelons. I've cut the ends off because I want it to be able to sit up like this. This watermelon, we're going to take out the pieces of watermelon for our salad, and we're going to use the halves of the watermelon as the dish, as the bowl. It's really great presentation. It's not difficult. So what I tried to cut the ends off as little as possible, and you want to kind of make, you want to try and get this thing in exact half. It's kind of difficult, but if you take your time, be real careful. Nice sharp knife. Let's see this. Ah, beautiful. All right. This is a seedless watermelon, although it does have seeds. So what I'm going to do is I'm using my spoon, and it's okay to leave a little space in here. And if you want, you could also, this will probably be easier, I'm going to just score it without poking too far through the bottom. And I'm going to score it in a way so I can get pieces that are close to what I want it to be. You know, bite size. All right. If you cut them and score them like this, then go in with your spoon. It should all scoop out very nicely. Now, these mini watermelons have a little bit of a thinner skin than a regular giant watermelon. So keep that into consideration. So you don't want to go all the way to the skin. And I'm just going around with my spoon. You know, kind of scoop these out any way that you can. Here we go. And they're going in my bowl. You can kind of skim them, and it actually cuts them to a smaller size. And you just want to, you don't have to be too careful because it's all getting mixed with a dressing. Yes, Lynn?
So, you only cut one direction.
No, I cut two.
Well, two directions, not side to side.
I went crisscross pattern, yep.
So as you're scooping it, you're
actually cutting it with the spoon.
I'm sorry how that would work.
Mm-hmm. And I might not need all this watermelon for the 2 portions that we're having tonight. In fact, I think I'm only going to use half, you know, the watermelon from one half, and I'll save the watermelon from the other half. So basically, this is what you have. You know, you can clean it up a little bit if you want. Probably want to get rid of the juice there, which I will.
Would you like a glass for it?
I would love a glass for it. You give me that glass, I'm going to get working on the watermelon. It didn't look sweet, but it certainly is sweet. Now I'm going to score this other one. Right. Anybody have any questions or comments or suggestions for other episodes? We're all ears over here in the Grateful Chef kitchen.
So as you're doing that, I know
Yeah.
we were going to wait for Shrimp to chime in, but
who we got?
We've got Sophie.
Hi, Soph.
She said, "Hi, Dad. I love you."
I love you too.
And sorry, Rob, no problem. I'm not sure whether or not you get to qualify as Eric's #1 fat fan because Sophie's here. So Rob said you can start now.
Nice.
Because he's here, but
he's not here.
Well,
I mean, I'm starting to believe Rob doesn't really exist. You know, maybe it's some robot with an algorithm or something that is responding to the Grateful Chef because, you know, I haven't seen him knocking on our door.
Where's Rob live?
And I couldn't help but notice that I'm doing a healthy dish, and they didn't pound down my door. I want to come, I want to come. But that's a whole other thing. It's okay. Except for one person said I want it.
Yes.
All right, so I love watermelon juice, especially when it's nice and sweet. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to put it in here. And here we have our 2 serving bowls for our delicious salad. All right.
So Rob, when are you heading our way for dinner?
He's got some work stuff. All right, so I'm going to take some of the watermelon out because I definitely am not going to need it all. All right.
That was a lot of watermelon for a little ball.
And I can always add more in. So we're going to start with that much. All right. Next thing I want to get to is the zoodles real quick. So I did one already. And for those of you who don't know what zoodles are, it's zucchini that is bit through a thing. Again, I don't care if you buy them at the supermarket. If you have there's an attachment for like a KitchenAid mixer that does it now. I bought this thing, I don't know, 10 years ago. Like a giant pencil sharpener for zucchini. Haven't used it in probably about 8 years, but it works. So there's 2. There's a fine and there's a coarse. We're going with the fine. And I basically just cut the top of the zucchini off. And this is going to be raw. We're not even going to cook it. It's very delicate. You don't have to cook it. And like I said, just like a pencil sharpener, you go at it. And what you want to do is you want to stop at a certain point so it's not just one giant noodle. So I'll pick it off at the end, unwrap it, and there you go, zoodles. I guess there's no real other name to call them. except for zucchini noodles. Zoodles sounds a little more fun, right? So if you just turn the zucchini, you can get a sense of how long it gets. Pull them off. Works quite well for a gadget, right?
I've never been a big fan of gadgets, and I like the fact that this thing is so...
You also get these byproducts. They're like fusilli.
I like this because it's compact, and you don't have to bring out a lot of equipment for it, and it's super easy.
Takes seconds. So now I'm getting to the thicker end of the zucchini. So it might jam up on me a little bit.
I think we probably have enough zucchini in there.
You think?
Yeah.
All right, so we have enough. Look, giant pencil sharpener. Exactly what it is. All right, so we do have enough. Perfect. You pull this piece out. Now, I'm going to let this marinate in that lime vinaigrette. I think I'm not going to use it all. What do you think? I'm going to marinate it all.
We can always eat it later.
We can always eat it later. So I'll just put a little bit in. I don't want to overdress. I'm going to do the same thing with the watermelon. Lime and watermelon. Awesome.
So your cheering section, Mary McCrae, she was the one that said, "Oh my God, I want that." But she was yummy spiralizer.
Spiralizer.
And zucchini pasta.
Nice. Thank you. All right, so the lime in the dressing will actually chemically cook this slightly. So that's okay. That's what we want. And now you could mix the watermelon with the zoodles if you want. But I think I'm going to keep them separate and we'll build them in the bowl. So we'll do it that way. Yeah, so I can see that this watermelon's already changed color a little bit from the lime.
It has. It's not nearly as bright.
Yeah. So let me just give you the quick rundown on the ingredients on that lime vinaigrette. It's a 1/4 cup of lime juice, so about 2 limes. 1 large clove of garlic. I use 2 because I always do. Mince them. 2 tablespoons of honey, a little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper. You mix all that together, and then you do that slow drizzle to get your emulsification. The slow drizzle, as you whisk constantly, of a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Simple. Really, really simple. All right, so these components, a little bit more watermelon, a little bit more dressing. All right, I'm going to put these aside. We'll come back to them later. Next, shrimp. All right, so we have our shrimp. All the ice is melted. They're ice cold. I'm going to dump them out in the sink. And water, please. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and peel these as quickly as I possibly can. They're very thin shelled, so they'll peel easily. And I don't want the tails on, so I'm just going to pinch and pull them off. And they look really, really good.
Any special technique to peeling?
Yeah, so you want to start with the legs. I'll do the next one. We'll do a close-up. Just want to start with the legs and peel each little section, pinch the tail, and pull it out. So let's do that.
I forgot
Oh, you forgot
my screen.
Your screen.
I'm just looking at your shirt.
All right. Shrimp. I'm going to start at the legs. So pull, bring it around, pull, bring it around. You can go forward if you want, down to that tail. Now, a lot of dishes, when you peel shrimp, you want to keep this tail on, but today we're not. So you're just going to pinch it at the base and pull it out. And that's it. Real simple. So I'm going to try and pound through these. And if you guys have any more questions or recommendations,
just scroll up a little bit.
Or you want to tell us what you've cooked lately, and what your cooking plans are for Labor Day weekend. That would be really cool.
No. Barry Stark said, looking good, chef.
Thank you, Barry.
Sophie Eisenbud said, yummy, and what a great idea.
Thank you.
And Rob No Prob, this was after I was making fun of him. He says, love you. And he also said he'd love to come over, dinner and a cigar.
Yes. Anytime. I know you've got, work and the kids and everything, but even like on a weekend or whatever.
Come on over.
Or if you can get away and just want to come over for an hour, have a cigar, whatever.
He'll probably still feed you in that hour, too.
Mm-hmm.
Swapna, she said she's had back-to-back watermelons every week all summer. So yummy and sweet.
That's awesome. And yeah, for us it's been corn. The corn this year, Jersey corn, always good. It has been exceptional this year.
Yes. I'm really happy. So, and then Barry Stuckey says, love zucchini anyway, and also spaghetti squash. And it just so happens that we have a spaghetti squash.
We have a spaghetti squash. Let me ask you a question, Barry. I'm going to ask you a question. 2 questions. A, how do you cut your spaghetti squash? And B, how do you cook it? That's what the inquiring grateful chef mind wants to know.
And while he's thinking about that answer, if he's going to answer, Mary has a question. She goes, why do some dishes keep the tail on and some don't?
Because some dishes, like if it's in a pasta or something, you want to give the diner something that they can kind of pick the shrimp up with, especially if you're serving the shrimp whole, so they can pick it up by that little tail and just pop it out when with their teeth, just grab it. This is going to be a shrimp salad, so we want all the shrimp meat free of shell. And by the way, that liquid that I cooked the shrimp in now has a lot of shrimp flavor in it. So if you minimize the amount of water that you start out with, you actually can use that in a pasta dish, any other dish that's got seafood or risotto. And usually if I'm peeling raw shrimp, I will save the peel, the shell. I will collect the shell if it's only a few, and I will make a shrimp stock from the shells and use that to make risotto or just regular rice. You don't have to go through the whole risotto technique. Paella, you name it, anything with seafood in it. You can make a shrimp soup. For sure. All right, we're almost there, guys.
I also see that Carol Eisenbud is watching. Hey, Carol.
Hey, Carol.
That's Mom to you.
That's Mom. Hi, Mom. All right. So basically, once I'm done with these shrimp, we are going to cut them up into nice sized pieces because I like it's not like when you're making tuna salad, it's kind of all ground up and everything. I want this to be nice and chunky like a lobster salad would be, like a lobster roll. And, speaking of that, you shouldn't hesitate to make yourself a shrimp roll. Lobster can be expensive. Sometimes it goes on sale. So, yeah, these shrimp that I have here were $10 a pound. Yes, Lynn?
James Braddock. Where can I find white corn? All these found in supermarkets is bicolor.
Find yourself a farmer's market. We have a farm stand here out in Warren, and I know if you're still living in the Montclair area, I know that they have a farmer's market, and I don't know what day on the weekends or whatever. I am so sure that they have corn there, and my farm stand has both white and yellow bicolor, I think. So yeah, especially in the summer in New Jersey, I stay away from supermarket corn.
And that's pretty much because our corn gets picked in the morning.
Yeah, picked that day and eaten that night.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's so good you don't even need to add anything to it. So last night I tried a new thing because I like cooking my corn with the husk on still, but it really is a little bit of an annoyance to get the husk off when it's coming off a grill and it's hot. It still was, but what I've learned to do is I cut the corn on the stem end, and I cut it off so there's none of the leaves are no longer attached to that core stem. And then leaving it in the husk, I wrapped it in aluminum foil, and then I cooked it over an open fire. We did fire pit cooking last night for my friend Delanio Taylor, who I met in a parking lot in South Carolina. He is an amazing self-taught pit master, and he's opened up a brick and mortar down in South Carolina selling some righteous barbecue. And him and his wife came over last night, and we had a really good time. We did 45-day dry-aged, 3-finger thick tomahawk steaks out on the fire pit with corn and mushrooms. It was fantastic. All right, you can see that. You can see that post if you friend me, Eric Eisenbud. You'll be able to see all that stuff, all the stuff, because I don't necessarily share everything on the Grateful Chef that I do, personally. So you can feel free to send me a friend request. All right, so here we have these great shrimp. They're perfect for what we want to do. We got another bowl, yet another bowl, and then we're going to have some fun. So I'm just going to run my knife through these, maybe cut each shrimp in 3 or 4 pieces, depending how big it is. So a nice, chunky shrimp salad. There we go. How's that, better? Mm-hmm.
So anybody else like spaghetti squash? I want some ideas on what you want to see cook with it, and how you'd like to see it cook. Because yeah, my only experience with spaghetti squash was I put pasta sauce in it.
Yeah, I tend to want to do it almost like I'm doing cheesy grits. Do like lots of Parmesan, some garlic. But an interesting thing that I learned a couple years ago, when you cut spaghetti squash, and we're a little off topic because we're not doing spaghetti squash today, I tend to cut it, so if it's football shape, I tend to cut it in half longwise like I would do any other squash, But what I learned is the strands of spaghetti squash go in a circular motion. So if you cut it across the equator instead of cutting it lengthwise, you're going to get longer strands of spaghetti squash. That was an eye-opening revelation for me, and it's true. It's really cool. You get like spaghetti length spaghetti squash instead of the small pieces.
So Barry also concurred. He says, cut it lengthwise. I do nuke its skin side up until tender. Then with a fork, scrape the inside into a bowl. Then use some spices, herbs of Provence, garlic, salt, pepper. Just do enough EVOO to cook the shredded parm. To the oven to bake. Don't time it. Just watch for the proper tan of the cheese, and voila.
Yes. So next time, Barry, try cutting it around the equator like we did the watermelon, because again, the strands go around this way. They don't go lengthwise like that. So you're going to have more. You're going to have spaghetti squash you can actually twist on a fork like it was actual spaghetti. Really cool. I think they have failed in their marketing, and the world should know that. All right, here we got our bowl of shrimp. Beautiful tiger shrimp. So now we're going to have a little bit of fun. Okay? We're making 2 mayonnaises. So
yes.
It's really cool. So here I have ingredients that are laid out in front of me. They're exactly the same for both. All right? 2 vessels. So about a month or so ago, we were in a flea market or an antique store, and I found this. This is a Wesson oil mayonnaise maker from the 1930s. So we're going to make mayonnaise like they did in the 1930s, And then we're going to make mayonnaise like we will today, you know, using an immersion blender and, you know, doing it really quick. So I've never used this thing. This is going to be really cool. The directions are right on it. It says to add an egg, which I have right here. We're going to, hopefully this doesn't make too awful of a sound.
Oh, it's going to make an awful, awful sound.
Okay, so it says add 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice or vinegar, so I'm using lemon juice. It says 1 teaspoon each of mustard, salt, and sugar. I decided I don't want to put sugar in it. Maybe you know, after it's done, if I think it needs it, but I didn't want to make like Miracle Whip or anything. And a dash of pepper. Put that in there. It's going to be crazy.
So I'm going to put it out to your audience. If it starts to make too much noise and it's too absolutely
We'll
horrible,
switch to the other one. I promise.
Let me know.
Let us know.
He's not going to use my judgment for this because it's squeaky.
All right. So
It's squeaky.
this lid is pretty cool because it's concave. I don't know if you can get that on camera.
Yeah.
So it'll hold the oil and it will slowly drizzle it in as I go at it here. So this is going to be really cool. I hope. So I'm going to mix this stuff up, just up and down.
You're missing the
vessel. All right, I just want to mix that up, make it a little frothy.
Barry says, "Oh, stop! I make my own butter and mozzarella. Now I need one of these." And the squeak isn't nearly as bad.
Yeah, because now it's oiled. So I'm going to fill the top, and I'm going to, you know, constantly up and down. You want it to emulsify. So one of the first things I made in culinary school, you know, we were the Greenhorn recruits, and they had us make mayonnaise from scratch. And they did not have us make a small batch. They had us make an enormous batch in a giant bowl. It took like two people to hold, and with a giant whisk, and we had to take turns switching off because our arms got completely, you know, destroyed. This is actually working. I don't know why I'm surprised at that. I mean, it was made in the 1930s when stuff actually worked.
Your Zoodler worked?
Yeah. Now, when you make homemade mayonnaise, you're going to notice, and I want you to make homemade mayonnaise. Listen, I love Duke's mayonnaise just like anybody else, but I want you to make it because it tastes so different. It's got a little bit of a different texture. It's lighter. So this is done. How quick was that, honey?
That was pretty cool.
But of course, in modern day and age, you're going to make it even quicker. So I want to taste it.
And you make it even quicker by buying it at the store.
Mmm. You got my spoon. Let's see.
I want to know which one tastes better.
Well, so this is, you can see it's much looser than store-bought mayonnaise.
Is that normal when you make it with
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mmm. Amazing. And I don't think it needs any sugar. So I'm going to keep it in here in case I need to whip it up a little bit more. So that is 1930s. That's how they made mayonnaise in the 1930s. Bravo to Wesson Oil for their marketing and promotion, because thing's great. That is awesome.
And bravo to you for your $5 purchase.
Yeah, $5. I was like, I'll take it. All right.
Was that the thing that the guy didn't even know what it was? Or
no, I don't remember. All right, so now we're going to fast forward 2019. Same ingredients. We're doing 1 egg.
And we've got Keith Brochu. Hello, my favorite chef, and Lynn.
Hi, Keith. 2 tablespoons or teaspoons, 1 ounce lemon juice. Again, mustard and salt. The mustard is emulsifying agent. Okay.
And this will all get posted on your website.
Yep. I'm going to put a dash of pepper. I'm going to shut the blower off. Don't have to yell anymore. A little dash of pepper. Nice. All right. Implement of destruction. The boat motor. Love it. So I'm going to stir. I'm just going to incorporate these, get it nice and fluffy. And now normally, if I was making this in a bowl, I would not just add all this oil in, but because I'm using an immersion blender, I'm going to carefully pour the oil so it stays floating on top. And I've got the immersion blender down on the bottom. Yeah, because, you know, if you did this in a regular bowl, you can't whisk fast enough to emulsify. So I've got this thing on high with the turbo button, and I'm just going to turn it on. Oh, wow. And you can see the bottom has already begun to emulsify. Going to let that emulsify. I'm going to create the suction that's going to suck the rest of the oil down. Slowly lift it. Yeah. I may like the 1930 one better.
Do you know, from Barry, do you know if Kilner makes this unit?
The what?
Kilner. K-I-L-L-N-E-R?
Makes the what?
I think the...
No, this is Dualit.
What is it?
Dualit? D-U-A-L-I-T. Alright, so this is not mayonnaise at all.
That's not mayonnaise?
No.
Soup?
It's very soupy. So I'm thinking I like the 1930s method best. So this is very soupy. Let's taste it. Yeah. 1930 wins. Look at that, honey. 1930. Beat out the fancy gadget. Yes.
What's that?
Oh, sure. All right. Let's put this thing together. So, before I add the mayonnaise, I'm going to add a couple of more ingredients to our shrimp salad. I've got a yellow pepper and a red pepper. And I am going to put some diced pepper. Now, I don't have a precise amount for you, because it's all going to depend on the size of your shrimp and how much you have and how much you're making. So this is where I want you to get creative and trust your instinct and eyeball the amount of peppers that you're going to put in here. Now these are all sweet peppers, so it's not going to add heat, obviously. But, you know, like I could tell you put in a quarter cup of peppers, but if you're making more than a pound, you know, you're going to have to add more. So let's move this out of the way.
Your camera card's full.
It is?
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Nice. All right, so we're going to just dice these nice, not too fine, not too big. Beautiful. A nice dice here. So you can see this is going to be really healthy. Okay, into our bowl with our shrimp it goes. These are, I bought like small peppers, so but I think I'm going to use all of them.
You're going to use all of what?
What?
You're going to use all of what?
Peppers.
Okay.
So I'm going to use the one small yellow. I'm going to do one small red.
I like how you cut it.
Yeah, I like to cut that off, and then you can pull the seeds out in one thing. I cut the bottom off. I cut it down the side, and then I get rid of all that white pith in there.
You know,
all that goes in the garbage.
I used to do that. I didn't do it that way, but I still remember the old way I'd cut it, which was I'd slice it all first and then pretty much just use my knife wedge by wedge.
Right.
Well, that just makes everything easier with your pepper.
Because it's nice and flat now. Of course, it's important to have a sharp knife to do all this. You know, keep your knives nice and sharp.
I never had sharp knives either.
Yeah. Well, you know, our grandmas all used like steak knives and cut against their thumbs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yellow peppers, red peppers. That's enough. I'm not going to add more. My gut's telling me that's enough red. Okay, I'm going to save that for something else.
Smock. Now I'm thinking you'd love this dish.
All right, now. So I'm walking through the market today. It was H Mart, Korean market, and I found something really cool, something I had never seen before. And I said, I got to get them, and I'm going to incorporate them into our little shrimp salad. These are fresh baby corn, like the stuff you get in a can, you know? So when I just took these, I put them in a microwave for about 35-40 seconds just to cook them slightly. But you could certainly eat these raw. And I'm going to cut the bottoms off. They're nice and soft. And I'm going to peel them. And what we have here...
I'm going to zoom in.
Yeah. Is... Well, gotta make sure you get all that silk off.
Oh, it's got some weird color.
Yeah, got a little weird color. I'm only going to use the yellow part. But this is what you have. It's a baby corn. Corn on the cob.
I zoomed in.
Oh, she zoomed in. Baby corn. Corn on the cob. Pretty cool. So I'm going to incorporate these into our dish.
So as you're cutting those, yeah. Scott Kingsland, he said he was thinking that maybe your mayo was thinner because you used the whole egg and not just the yolk.
Well, the other one thickened a little bit. But yes, you are correct. If I use just the egg yolk, it would be a thicker emulsion. That is for sure. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, so some of these corn are discolored on the top, so I'm just going to cut off the part that we can use. And I'm just going to really just slice them up and put them in. I thought it'd be a cool little component to the dish.
I think texturally it'll be really awesome.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that maybe just the silk itself turned a little brown, so it's stained. I don't think it's bad or rotten or anything, so I'm not worried about it. All right, so our salad's going to be shrimp. It's going to be red pepper, yellow pepper, corn, some dill, and then our mayonnaise. I'm going to put a little celery seed in there because I love celery seed in stuff like this, like lobster rolls and shrimp, and you know. So I'm going to put that in there. Yeah, so you can see that the silk has turned a little bit brown from being cooked. I had tasted one raw. Certainly could do it that way.
Okay, so do you know, is baby corn grown as baby corn?
I think it's just like any other corn.
So it's actually just the baby corn.
They pick it early. That's what I'm thinking. I could be completely wrong. But my thought is that it is the same as regular corn. It's just small. And most people aren't going to, you know, they watch the plant grow and grow and grow, and they're not going to cut it short just so they can get baby corn. That's what I'm thinking, anyway. All right, all that mess is in there. And we're going to just, again, cut this into pieces. Very soft. And again, I did taste one raw. You absolutely could have done this without cooking them in the microwave for a second. But they're certainly better than those things you buy in a can.
Oh, these things are just...
I don't buy them in a can, but people buy them in a can.
Yeah, but super fresh and sweet, like our regular corn.
Yeah, I don't even know if where these were from. I seriously doubt that they grow these in New Jersey, but you never know. We are the Garden State. All right. I'm going to chop a little dill. Less than that, because this is a strong dill.
That's from our garden, yeah?
This is not from our garden.
What?
We didn't grow dill this year. Running your knife through it. Alright. In goes about a tablespoon of dill. Again, adjust to your taste and liking.
Swanda said she was thinking she should have been here. It looks that good.
All right, this is my little bag of celery seed. Put a little bit in.
So, very stark. Because I'd love to find baby corn like that here in western New York, Buffalo. But can you use, canned if you want?
Yeah, you can, but the can has this, I don't know, I want to say it's a tinny flavor. It's, it kind of tastes like preservatives to me, which it probably is. So yeah, it will have an effect, but I would say try it. I mean, I wasn't even going to have the corn until I saw it fresh, and I'm like, oh, I have to buy it, and I have to somehow incorporate it. So that's what I did.
So it's not part of the recipe. It was just an ingredient you happen to find. Yeah. But it is fun in there.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So this, now I'm going to bind it. I don't want to use too much mayo, right? Just like when you're making a lobster roll or a crab cake. You don't want to use too much. Just want to use just enough to bind it together. And give us a nice flavor. Maybe another 4 tablespoons, about a 1/4 cup. And a nice mix. Nice. Very colorful, very summery.
I'm coming back in again.
One thing I do want to add is some salt, of course. I did add salt to the mayo, but I'm going to taste it first. Yep, so we want to do a little bit more. And it's funny, I looked online for some recipes for lemon mayo. And don't you know, most of the recipes were take your mayo from a jar and add lemon to it. This is so much better. The flavors are brighter. There we go. That looks delicious. Give it a little taste. Great lemon flavor. Brighten it up, a little bit of salt. And this definitely screams for pepper. Nice. All right, we're getting ready to put this dish together. And I'm thinking I'm going to put in the rest of this dill.
And Mary McRae says, hey, you could put that in avocado boats too.
You could certainly do that. You could probably, you can definitely add avocado to this too if you wanted to, if that was your thing. So, for sure.
So this is the dinner portion versus the Mary lunch portion.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, this dish would lend itself more to a lunch or brunch. But today we're having it for dinner. I'm going to pour out the juice that's accumulated. All right. Here we go. Check our zoodles. They have released some of their water. I can smell the garlic in that lime vinaigrette. right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the base of the zoodles, right in the bottom. You single guys, you want to impress the women, the chicks.
What about the married guys?
Married guys, you want to re-impress your wives, for sure. This is an easy way to do it.
You impress me every day.
Oh, honey, how sweet.
I'm coming close for these.
All right, so there we've got our base of zoods. I've got a little bit of that dressing in there I'm going to hold. We're going for our delicious looking watermelon. Yes, definitely has changed.
It is very pale.
Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of that. And this, so you're getting a lot of elements in here. You're getting the sweet, you're getting the sour, you're getting the salty. Nice. And how healthy is this? I mean, I don't know how many calories is in here, but it's not a lot. So a couple of those, even that might be a little too much. Spread them around. And then, as if that weren't enough,
We've got shrimp.
we've got shrimp. And corn. And yellow peppers and red peppers. We're going to put that right in the center, like so. And all these components will, obviously will go together. So you can pick up a forkful of watermelon with the shrimp and the zoodles. Awesome. Work your way down to the bottom of the bowl. Yeah. How cool does that look, honey?
That's awesome.
So I really tried to find the smallest watermelons that I could. This was actually the smallest one. I'm guessing because it is watermelon season, so most of the places are carrying the big watermelons, but I was able to find these two small ones. The plates.
Do they come smaller?
Yeah, they do actually come a little smaller.
Don't stare on my frame.
All right. On top, we eat with our eyes first.
Pretty.
A little bit of dilly. Keeping it silly with the dilly. And there you guys have it. A healthy option from the Grateful Chef Kitchen. And again, our ingredients. Watermelon, shrimp. We made a nice shrimp salad. We marinated watermelon and zucchini noodles in a lime vinaigrette. So you're going to get the tart. It's got honey in there, so you're going to get a tart sweet kind of thing. The sweetness of the watermelon as well. And then our shrimp salad with those great tiger shrimp, red pepper, yellow pepper, dill, celery seed, salt, pepper, and those incredible fresh baby corn. So, yeah, so that will bring us to the end of another great episode of Cooking in the Grateful Chef Kitchen with Chef Eric. That's me. I raise my glass. Eat well, be kind, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Grateful Chef and Cooking in the Grateful Chef Kitchen. Peace.